Alabama getting it done yesterday against Arkansas. Final score 24-21 over the Hogs. And it felt like that Alabama was about to run away with this one. They're up 24-6 at one point. You're thinking, okay, here they go. They're about to pour it on now. Here come the Crimson Tide. Arkansas, KJ Jefferson, they fight their way back into it. And Nick Saban even said post-game, like, hey, that Arkansas football team, they're a lot better than y'all want to give them credit for. Go ahead and look at the games that they've played against LSU and against Ole Miss and against A&M. But even so, Bama getting it done in the fashion that they did. What do we take away from this game? What does it say about Bama? What do you think about the game itself? What do you think about Alabama going forward now? How should we evaluate them? Who is Alabama? That's a great question. Who is Alabama? You tell me. We'll talk about it right now, though. Make sure you're subscribed. Talking college football, only college football. Alabama fans. Had a lot of y'all join the party here recently. Met a lot of y'all in Tuscaloosa when we were down there week 2. If you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. We'll have a good time. Also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Judy Pakel to keep up with everything that we got going on here. So thank you in advance for that. So yesterday, I think we saw a mixed bag of variants from Alabama. We saw how good they can be when they're firing on all cylinders, when Jalen Milroe is dropping back and just dropping deep dimes to Kobe Prentice or to Jermaine Burton. Like, we've seen what they can be when they're really starting to cook. And then also, I think we saw the lower end of that variance where they're having penalties. They're not finishing on defensive plays. They're having issues as a whole offensively. Like we saw, I think, both sides of that yesterday. The good news is you get to evaluate that film today through the lens of a win rather than a loss. But if I'm an Alabama fan, the way that Jalen Milroe was talked about after that Texas game and the way that he's playing right now, I think the way that he's trending should be an enormous reason for hope for Alabama fans. I mean, this game in itself, he played well. He was efficient for the most part in terms of hitting those deep passes downfield. Now, was he efficient overall? I'd like to see him be a touch more accurate. A couple of drops he's working with there too. But my overall perception, take the box score out of it. Jalen Milroe is getting better each and every week as the guy for Alabama. Okay, and if he keeps trending the right way, if he's playing his best ball in November, what can Alabama accomplish? The defense, I think, as a whole, has shown that they can play to the Bama standard. Can they do it consistently? Kind of the next step for them, right? I mean, they held Arkansas to less than 200 yards passing and right around 100 yards rushing. Like, overall, it should have been a better output yesterday in terms of the final score for Alabama. But the way they're trending gives me encouragement because of the way that Jalen Milroe was trending. Now, again, going back to the lower part of that game yesterday, the way that they didn't play super disciplined. It was 5 penalties, timely penalties as well. The way they're not able to finish on KJ Jefferson when Terrion Arnold gets to the quarterback. And KJ Jefferson, to be real, is a grown man. So look, let's not just discount that. But I think we see that this Bama team is still developing and still trending and still trying to find their footing. But I would also say this, that Alabama team that played Texas in week 2 that we got to go see in person, I don't think that same team is still there. I think the team has improved since that game. And that's a good sign, obviously, for Alabama fans. Now, do they beat Texas today? Whole other conversation. But I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. Like, Alabama from week 2 to now is a very different football team, and Jalen Milroe is a very big part of that. But I think when you look at Alabama going forward now, I can't help but feel like Alabama is on the reality TV show that is the college football playoff. And they got one loss, right? So history would tell us they get one more loss, voted off the island. 2 losses, you're probably not making the college football playoff based on what history says. But every single week that Alabama sticks around, every single week that Alabama stays on the island, I think they get more and more dangerous because of what I just said. What we've seen the defense be capable of doing, because of the way that Jalen Milroe is trending, because of the way they ran the football yesterday. This is a football team that has tremendous talent. And each week they get the opportunity to put it together and have the college football playoff right there in front of them. I think it's trouble for the rest of college football that they keep on getting chances now. Like Deion Sanders, he said it after the Oregon game, like, this is as bad as it's going to be. Nick Saban maybe could have said that after the Texas game and said, y'all better get us now. Ole Miss not beating Alabama in that game after USF. Kind of feels like that was the second life now that Alabama needed to go on a run here, and they're continuing to get their momentum. And Nick Saban with momentum, an Alabama team with belief, a Bama team with this much talent, I think it's a little bit concerning for the rest of college football. Now, going back to this game, there's going to be a lot made about, well, hey, Bama should have won this game by way more. They were up 24-6. How'd it go to a 3-point game at the end there? Like, let's be careful now not to view Alabama within a Ziploc bag in this game. You can look at this one game and say, hey, Bama, they look like they're gettable. KJ Jefferson did some really good things on tape that maybe they can expose down the road for somebody else. Like, we'll see about Bama. That's the Ziploc bag version. We got to look at all data points for Bama. We got to look at Alabama and what they did against Texas A&M. Look what they did against Ole Miss. Like, this Alabama team, I think, has put a lot out there that deserves a little bit more respect than what's going to be said after just this game. Did they play tremendous yesterday for 4 quarters? No. Played well enough to win. Played well enough to see another week where they can kind of get their footing. If Bama gets their footing now, going to be a very, very difficult out when it comes to November. But we'll keep an eye on it. We'll talk about them the rest of the way. If Jalen Milroe really gets cooking, they're going to have a shot. Make sure you subscribe right here. College football, only college football every single day. I'm JD Pickell. This is The Hard Count. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.